Howdy folks. Today we're going to talk about Crinical's Project Red, which are these. I have had these for about 2 weeks. This is a relaxing review for me. I'm not going to be incredibly hyped on it or anything like that. So I've been tuning Glamdrings. Also got some other headphones that I actually really enjoy. I'll talk about those later. So I got these almost at the same time as I've been doing the tunings for Glamdring, and got some other stuff I really like, and I have a hard time with these. Immediately I was just like, these are boring as hell. I don't like them. I don't know what Crinical is thinking. They have very little sparkles, almost no sparkles. And it's like, were these tuned to just be perfect on a graph? And like, did he use his ears? But in any case, over the last few days, I've been actually trying to give them a better shot, because I figure if he spent that much time on these, then they're probably worth something. Just to mention this, the bores are massive and long. Like, that's huge. It's like 5 point something millimeters in diameter. Just massive. Put tips on these and they're going to rape the tips out and gape them up. But I would not have tried these if it weren't for Paul Wasabi, so everybody thank Paul. He's a badass guy. Also, when I first tried these, I was using the mobile on my phone, LG G8X, quad, saber DAC, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't getting any kind of X factor on them, and I just kind of was like, bleh, they're boring. I'll talk about specifics. But then I finally had a chance to use my Archel 3 Pro, which is the review's coming up for that very soon. And they actually transformed a little bit. I mean, I think very likely the A3 Pro is going to make these as good as they'll ever be, and so they actually leveled up a bit for me. When I started doing this review, I was actually starting to make the video. I did one take of it, and I realized halfway through it, it's like, these don't suck as bad as I actually somehow mentally think they do. They're actually not that bad. So having said that, the people in my chat room, I was like, basically just like, blah, 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 these are just blah. I don't know what Crinical was thinking, wasn't using his ears, but... So, I'm going to just go back on all those comments. I was talking shit, and I shouldn't talk shit, although I talk shit a lot. But I do try and give things a good amount of time before putting out a real review. So here we are. Hang on. Got to get a little sip of... I'm highly addicted to ginger beer right now. Go figure. All right. So... what's the overall tonality of these headphones? So here's the thing that immediately struck me was that they don't have the open kind of tonality I associate with top-of-the-line sets. Of course, they're 50 or 60 bucks. They're not a top-of-the-line set, but I was expecting Crinical to try and pull a trick out of his hat with these and get something in the range that would, be better than the price suggested. Thereby changing the market somewhat. I don't really know if he did that. Perhaps, maybe, but compared to his other set he tuned, which was the Zeros. I can't remember the name of the company right now, but that made the original Zeros. Are like 20 bucks. Not the blue ones, but the white. They have like multicolored shells, but 10 millimeter driver on those. I found like those had better twinklies and OCD details, and the stage was more open than these. But they're also a little more roughed in terms of the tuning. These are more refined, but also they're boring. They're just a little bit boring for me, and they're boring enough to where I don't actually want to own them. So why I would say they're boring is basically because these days when I look for like an X factor in a headphone, I'm always thinking about like, not just the frequency response, but highly the staging and how it captivates me and how it makes my brain think I'm in a larger space than just using headphones. And I find that incredibly seductive and important with my best headphones, and I keep those and I buy them and I hype the hell out of them. These really don't have a lot of that. They almost have none. Even compared to like $20 sets, the open staging is not very open on these. So I guess if you would consider that to be maybe the high-mid area, I haven't really fleshed out where the frequencies are that I would rather have they gave us more energy in. But we could pull up a graph. Let me go ahead and do that. So, yeah, these are by the Boring Company. Wait, no, they're not. Sorry. There's our graph. Let me zoom in a little bit. And yeah, by the way, I haven't actually used the impedance adapter to up the bass because actually, because of the fact that the treble is not pushed and also doesn't have a very open factor to it, you add more bass to this and it's just too bassy, in my opinion. More bass causes even less stage, and I don't want that on these, so I didn't try that, and I don't care about it. So I guess that would be the red line is the original tuning, and clearly Clinical spent a ton of time trying to make sure this is absolutely perfect on graph, clearly. And of course we have the 8K peak couplers do that. It's not there. Everyone should know that by now. But I do think that he really tried to get the graph perfect instead of using his ears more than staring at a graph. That's just my official position on that. I think that if he had probably tuned in maybe like 2 dB more of treble, high mids and treble right in sort of, let me see if you can see my cursor, but right in this area right in here, I think that would have come across better. Also, I am a low pinna gain army dude now, so this 10 dB of pinna, although, wait, that's not 10, that's say 8. I would prefer that to be about 6, to be honest with you. And when you do that, you get better staging. You get better staging effects, and the vocals drop down a little bit in the mix. But you got to do it right so that the vocals aren't recessed, but they're still there, right? They still pop above the music when the mix calls for it, but they're not like blasting you in the face. That's one of my own little pet peeves. Anyway, this doesn't blast you in the face, but also because the pinna is as high as it is, it does cause you to lose a little bit of that stage mojo, I think. That's just my best guess on how this is sort of tuned. And overall, I will recommend these. I'm going to go back on getting so mad at them. I think for the price of 50 or 60 bucks that they're a decent set. I can't complain that much about it, but I could say that it feels like Critical could have pushed that open tonality up a level and into something like, I mean, I honestly think these are like appropriate for $50 or $60. I don't think that they're going to beat $100 sets, and certainly nothing above that. So it's like, you know, little give and take. As far as the build quality, they're okay. They're certainly better than your average KZ. God, KZs just set me off. I can't stand the damn things. The shells just blah. They just look like mass-produced trash. This is definitely a level up from that. I don't like the red. I just think it's boring. I don't know. Whatever. I don't like it. And also, I would say that you don't really have to get a deep fit with these because of the way they're tuned, but that's just a huge bore. And obviously, Critical's got huge ear canals, and I don't. So these don't go in deep and probably get a little extra pinna gain from them. But again, it doesn't really do anything that upsets me. As far as genres they play well, I'll just say this. They didn't play anything badly. So they pretty much work for everything that you might want to listen to. They did less good for metal, but they're still fine. You could still listen to metal and enjoy it. And, you know, EDM, classical, R&B, they certainly have enough bass to do R&B and rap and reggae quite well. I just wish that that Critical had tuned in a little extra uppers on these. And that's weird coming from me. I'm usually the guy that's like, you know, treble sensitive boy. But yeah, it is what it is. So overall, I'm going to rate these as a recommendation. I'm not going to say run out and get them, but you know, if you're in the mood for a very neutral and yet refined, but not pushed in any way, and medium soundstage headphone, then these probably will do the trick. And at least they're made well, and they're not KZ style. So there's that. Anyway, got a couple more reviews coming up, and then the sickest headphone I've heard in forever. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but it is just, it's blown me away like I haven't been blown away since I got into this hobby. However many, well, I've been in this hobby since 1986. I still have my 10th anniversary Walkman, but for reals, you know, once I had money in the last few years, that part of the hobby, yeah, these blew me away more probably than the EJ07, when everyone knows how much I love those. And they're up there with the RSV, EJ07, Glamdring, my own stuff. And they did show me that although my tunings are awesome in terms of the 3D, there's certainly another level I could get to. And that's a holy shit statement for me, because I already thought Glamdrings were at a top of the line level. So maybe that says something. Right on. I will talk to you on the next one.